over to Facebook and make sure it actually does it, which it should. It's coming. It's coming. Oh, yep, there we go. All right, we are live on Facebook and technically YouTube as well, which is pretty awesome. So hi, Facebook. We are here with Judy Klass. Am I saying that right, Judy?
Class, just class like classroom.
Okay, that's what I thought. But then we were having a discussion about how it was pronounced.
No. It sounds like a snazzy stage name, like class with a K, but no, yeah. It's actually my name. So
that's what we were hoping. It's more.
It's not a gimmick. But.
Judy is one of the authors for our Open New Works Festival, which is premiering in July, that we're super excited about. It's something new that we're doing here at OPA, where we're trying to get new works of art out into the community, as well as producing all of those well-established musicals and plays that we all love so much. So Judy gets to be featured in our New Works Festival this year, which we're super excited about. So we just wanted to chat with Judy and get to know her a little bit before we get to do her show this July. So Judy, would you just introduce yourself for us and tell us a little bit about yourself and some of your playwriting background?
My name is Judy Klass. I'm originally from the New York, New Jersey area. I live in Nashville, Tennessee now, and I teach at Vanderbilt, and I write country songs, which is one reason I moved to Nashville. In terms of plays, I've got 7 full lengths that have been produced with the premiere of Kimberly and Overdrive. That'll be the 8th. A bunch of one acts, like 35 one acts out there. And I think I had been writing sort of a lot of really gritty, intense, angry, miserable plays. And I thought, just to give myself a break and people who might see myself a break, let me write some comedy. Let me write something a little lighter. And Kimberly and Overdrive is one of those mercifully lighter plays.
That's awesome. We all love a good drama. I mean, don't get us wrong. Like, I'm actually more of a drama than a comedy person, personally. But every now and then, like, we all just need the breath of fresh air of a good comedy, right? That's awesome. So we have 8 people watching us on Facebook. Hi, everybody on Facebook. Hi, Candy. I see Candy's on YouTube. Chad and Aubrey. So if you guys have any questions for Judy about her plays or her process or anything like that as we go ahead and just drop those in the comments, and we will take a minute to answer those throughout our conversation with Judy. So that's awesome. All right, so you said the name of the play already. It's Kimberly and Overdrive, which is an epic name, by the way. That's just super fun. Can you give us a really brief idea of what Kimberly and Overdrive is about?
Well, there's a college student. Her name is Meredith Fletcher, and ever since she was a little girl, she's sort of seen herself as bleh and wussy and not very interesting. And she's had this sort of imaginary friend / alter ego person who's fabulous and fierce and a heroine and who does all the things she can't, named Kimberly. And now she's in college. Her parents are pressuring her to be pre-law. They want her to go to law school. She doesn't want to. So she says, this time Kimberly's going to save me for real. I'm going to write a great play or a great movie about Kimberly, and it's going to be commercial, but also good. And I'm going to sell it, or it's going to be produced, and then I won't have to be a lawyer. So I'm going to write my way out of this whole, with a Kimberly adventure. And so when she's trying different scenarios on a different part of the stage, someone is playing Kimberly, and Kimberly has a friend named Mouse who represents Meredith, and other people are involved, but the different Kimberly scenarios get acted out on stage.
That's so fun. So it's like having an imaginary friend come to life. Literally.
Again, she can't control Kimberly any more than anyone else. So at a certain point, Kimberly looks across the stage and starts telling her off, and there are complications. But
I love that. We got a couple questions on our Facebook video for you. How did you hear about OPA and the New Works Festival?
There are sort of playwrights online on Facebook and different groups that I've joined, where sort of playwrights comb the internet and look for different opportunities. And I probably heard about it through one of those, through sort of the playwrights grapevine. They're sort of a grapevine.
So just some good old-fashioned research too. That's great. Amanda Larson. Hi, Amanda. She wants to know, how do you come up with the plot for your play?
I don't know. I mean, this one, different things, I've been a college student. I've I'm a writer, and so things she's wrestling with just in terms of what's different about plays and screenplays. I mean, I'm about to teach a playwriting screenwriting course for Vanderbilt this summer. So I'm sort of very aware that even though they're both script writing, it's almost a different language. So I'm sort of aware of some of the different things, and I've tried some of the genres that she tries, and then I make fun of a little in the movie, or I make fun of her efforts. In some ways, they're like my efforts at these genres. But yeah, no, I've been so and I'm just sort of aware of people who sort of feel pressure to be one job or another, and sort of when you sort of think about ideal scenarios, how that takes you away from actually living a life, which is one of the things Kimberly says to her is, how can you ever be a writer if you just have fantasies about me having fabulous adventures? Go out there and actually live a life, So, I mean, these are issues knocking around in anybody's head. And, I had a pretty good time at Sarah Lawrence is where I went. But, there's, in some ways you also let the character meet some nice people that you wish you'd met, in some ways you put wish fulfillment in. So you give her wonderful friends, and, maybe they're interesting guys. And I'm not going to say what happens, but, some of it is you draw on your own experience, the good, the bad, the ugly. And then sometimes you give the character a little presents that you didn't get if you were ever in that situation. So I don't know.
So there's all kinds of inspiration coming from all.
There's no one. It's not like I saw a vision or something. It was different things.
Yeah, it's a whole creative process for, I think, anything we do with the arts, whether it's writing or directing or acting, like we can all take a conglomeration from our own lives and then things that we experience and hear from others. And it just gets into this big mesh of artistic power.
There you go. There you go.
That's awesome. So with any writing, there's always like this process of development, and then you create something and then you take it to somebody and you probably have to rewrite it or change it after that. Can you tell us a little bit about like what it was like to take a creative project like Kimberly and Overdrive from this developmental idea stage that Amanda asked us about all the way through to like a finished product that you would submit somewhere like a New Works Festival?
I mean, every time I reread it, I tweak it. So I reread the play last night to just sort of have the whole thing in my head before my interview with you. And I sort of said, I want to add this line here. They talk about Petrarchan sonnets, and I think I want the character to say, 8 lines and 6 lines. I mean, I don't know. I mean, this play hasn't been workshopped. It's never had a staged reading. So in some ways, seeing it will be wonderful, and I'll probably make some changes based on seeing it when OPA produces it. Let's see. No, I mean, I'm in some writers' critique groups, but I don't think I brought this in. I felt pretty good about it. I had some people read it, and people I trust, and I listened to their feedback and addressed some things. And then some people read it and took it the wrong way, and I'm like, oh, I better head them off at the pass. I better proof it so that nobody else has that, mistaken impression. That's mainly the changes it's gone through.
That's a lot. We're very honored that we get to be the first people to produce it, by the way. I haven't read the whole thing, but I've read parts of it, and I was there when we had auditions for the show, and I think you're going to be really excited about who we got to play these parts. Like the girl playing Meredith especially, I love her. I just worked with her in a show. And she's great. She's got like this wonderful personality for Meredith that I think is going to be awesome. Brandon on our Facebook page wants to know, why did you pick this specific topic to write about?
Like I said, for a comedy, because I'm a writer and because I'm sort of maybe think too much in some of the ways that Meredith does. So I thought, let me make fun of some things about myself, and the idea of the writer writing and the characters acting out the scenario, and then maybe the character turning on the writer, that seemed like it might be inherently funny. So, I was just sort of, what's a comedy? I just went with something that I felt there was humor built in that I could sort of mine for, Yeah.
Well, is that this always happens.
Where are you? Oh, here we are. Hi.
Hello. Hi.
Brandon.
How are you?
Hey, okay, I'm great. How are you?
I'm so good. I was so excited when I got your play and I read it, and I loved it. So we're excited to have you in our New Works Festival. I like to photobomb the videos every once in a while. So
Every once in a while. Every time he's not in one, guys. Every time.
I'm salty.
Yeah, you are.
Sorry. Have a good chat with Rachel. Thank you again.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you for choosing it.
Brandon's always fun.
I had a good talk with Mallory, but I haven't sort of had an update since the auditions. That was a few days before the auditions, but you know, I just talked to her since she's directing it, and she had good questions, and it was a good conversation. So.
Yeah, and Mallory, Judy's talking about Mallory Blue, just so everybody knows, who is also going to be directing Kimberly in Overdrive. Mallory's wonderful. She's a student at SUU, and she is a great director. So we're excited to have her on board to bring Kimberly in Overdrive to life as well. Okay, so now let's get into that's kind of our technical stuff. Here's the fun stuff. So for you as an author, how do you feel about finally getting to see your work produced on the stage?
It's wonderful. It's usually, you know, I've directed, so that's one thing is if I'm directing it, but then if I see it and I haven't been there and I don't really know the people, and to just see the director's vision, the actor's interpretation of the roles, I mean, it's the most exciting thing, you know. It can be kind of a nail biter, but it's just sheer heaven. It's sheer ego. It's like, yes, I'm the Lord of this creation. It's you know, and if you're in pain or something, you forget it. You just everything. You blot out everything. Nothing else matters. You know, when you're watching a production or even a reading of a play, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome. I don't write very much anymore. I used to write more than I do now, but even directing, I think you feel that way of like, this is mine, and here it comes to life. So I can't even imagine like being the playwright behind that is probably that feeling just even a step further. So that's amazing. Did you apply anywhere else to have this produced, but other than OPA?
I have sent it. There was a place in Tyler, Texas. They have a civic center, and it was a finalist in their competition, and they did a partial reading of it, and I just wasn't able. I would have had to sort of fly down to another big city in Texas and take a bus out and go and then take the bus back, and it just was too much, and so I didn't. And they said they were taping it, and then the person who was doing the tape wasn't available, so I never got to.
Oh, that's too bad.
And there's a place in Nashville called Chaffin's Barn. There's a place called Chaffin's Barn Dinner Theater, and it came in third in their competition. Another play of mine came in second, and they produced it in 2019. The other play. So I've sent it to a couple other. You know, you send a play out. I mean, the odds aren't with anything you send out, with any manuscript. The odds aren't great that it'll hit. I'm very excited. It's being, you know, after those sort of near misses and kind of thing. I'm very excited that it's being produced at last, that it's going to have its premiere.
Well, that's awesome. We're excited that we get to do it. So I just was wondering, I mean, I'm sure it's like auditioning or anything. You have to keep at it and keep at it and keep at it until you find the right fit for your production. We're glad that we get to be that fit. All right, this is our last question, unless anybody drops another one in our comments. Why do you think that people should get tickets to come see Kimberly in Overdrive?
You know, I think in some ways this is a harsh, bleak time. So I think a comedy about, you know, nice, smart people who are in some ways in despair and finding hope might be, it might be a lovely, pleasant thing to do, you know, at a time like this. I hope it is. I hope it'll be fun, you know. I think with a sort of a fun young cast, it could be a very. I think it's likable. I mean, it's sort of it's not world changing, but you know, but it's I think it's an accessible, likable, funny show that people can have fun with, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's awesome, and I completely agree with you. Like at this time, we all need to laugh. We all just need a break sometimes. And I think Kimberly and Overdrive is great for that. We have an amazing cast. We have a great crew. And we're really excited to get to bring Judy's amazing script to life. Canberra Klinger, who actually is playing Kimberly in your show, just dropped a comment and said, "Do you like dumplings?" That's her burning question for you.
I do, and that becomes a, I don't know, crucial plot point, but that does come up in the show. I like dim sum. I like going to a dim sum parlor where there are sort of little wicker bamboo baskets that fit on each other with different kinds of dim sum dumplings. I like Cantonese. I like Szechuan. I like Chinese food in general.
Right? Who doesn't?
Well, you know.
We need some Szechuan chicken, man. Oh, Cam just dropped a bunch of hearts in the comments, so Cam must really like dumplings too. Cam is going to be perfect as Kimberly, by the way. I just worked with her in a show like a month ago, and she's wonderful. So yeah. So everybody needs to come see our amazing cast and our amazing crew put together Judy's awesome show. If you have any other questions for Judy, you can drop them in the comments, and we will reply with some answers. But we're going to let Judy get back to her actual life now that she's shared with us. So come get your tickets we're performing 3 plays at our New Works Festival. Kimberly and Overdrive, The Experiment by Benjamin Stanford, and then none of us can ever pronounce it, but I think it's Hamartia, which is a musical by Logan Kelly. So they are performing July 9th through the 16th. You can get tickets at www.onpitchperformingarts.com, and we look forward to seeing all of you guys there. All right, we're going to say goodbye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Look.
Thanks, Minnie. Bye-bye.